Hello everyone, and welcome back to this week's I've Been Playing. Today we were talking about Agatha Christie, The ABC Murders. Obviously when I say this, I mean the game version, which presents itself as an adventure point-and-click game based off the novel of the same name, starring the most famous Agatha Christie character, Hercule Poirot. Now, this is not an Agatha Christie book that I've read. I have read other Poirot books, but not this one specifically, so I can't speak to how the story parallels the one in the novel. But the basic premise is that there is a serial killer murdering people based off of the alphabet, and they send Poirot clues about where this person is going to be, and they go in alphabetical order, both in terms of where the crime takes place and with the victim's name. And most of the time, at least I think all of the ones in the game, were both first and last name the same letter, I think. Maybe not the first one, I don't remember what the first one's name was, but that's the general premise. Whoever is doing it is also sending letters to Poirot to let him know where the crime is going to be taking place, and it's up to him to not only find the killer, obviously, but to sort out who in the town might be in trouble, which only happens to work towards the end of the game that once. The other times, obviously, you're investigating the crimes after they happened, because it's too late, and there's one time where you get the letter a little bit too late for reasons relevant to the plot. In terms of gameplay, like I said, this is essentially at heart a point-and-click game, although because I was playing on Xbox One, it was more of like a drag and click game. I don't know. It just doesn't work quite as well on consoles in general, I don't think. The point-and-click formula doesn't tend to work quite as well unless they update it a little bit to be more something that has interactive hotspots as opposed to an actual cursor, but there is an actual cursor in this one, so if you are interested in it, I would recommend getting it on PC. And a lot of it will be familiar to someone who, and I imagine if you're playing this you will have, played the Sherlock Holmes games. It is not quite as refined or polished as the Sherlock Holmes games. There's also the little gray cells, which are essentially the Sherlock Holmes mind palace kind of a thing where you connect clues to figure out bits and pieces of the mystery, but there's no way to get them wrong like there are in the Sherlock Holmes games, which I guess is a good thing, but also kind of takes away a little bit of that sense of agency. Although you can make mistakes, it's mostly when you're interrogating people, and you get achievements for interrogating people wrong or being mean about it or whatever, but you can't make a mistake on the path to finding the culprit. It is a very much set story, and I don't know if this is because it's based off of the book, although obviously Sherlock Holmes is also a novel, well, several novels, you know what I mean, is also a book character. I think a lot of these Sherlock Holmes games, or maybe not a lot of them, but a few of them are not necessarily based off of the stories, so they have a little more creative license there. This one is very much, you follow the story, it is gonna be what it is, the person is gonna be what it is, the conclusion is gonna be what it is, regardless of what you do or how good you are at connecting clues. So, you know, it can be a little bit, not difficult exactly, but it can take a little while to connect some of the clues, but you do know that you will not be able to connect them in a way that does not work. I would say that is probably one of the biggest parts of the gameplay. Another part of the gameplay is investigating things, and you do, again, that same thing as in the Sherlock Holmes games, where you kind of observe either a scene or a person and hover over areas, and it will give you clues to maybe interrogate the suspects a little bit better because you know more about them, or have those clues to connect in the Mind Palace Gray Cells area. And the third and final kind of aspect of the game is the puzzles, which some of them are just, I don't know, they interrupt the flow. Some of them felt very easy, some of them felt very, very difficult. I also had on occasion a problem with just, I guess, pixel hunting, because there were times I couldn't leave a room and I could have sworn I clicked on everything, but sometimes you have to examine an object a little bit more in depth and rotate it, which is not a problem. Like I said, none of the puzzles that I can remember are that difficult. Well, maybe not clear, but once you understand them, I don't remember them being that difficult. But that's kind of the third aspect of gameplay that you have. Those are the three main things you'll be doing throughout the game. You'll be investigating, you'll be connecting clues, and you'll be playing around with puzzles. So all in all, functions very well, which I suppose is a good thing. Poirot himself is quite slow, there's no way to speed him up, so walking around can be a bit of a pain sometimes. The movement in general just feels a little sluggish as well. And while the art style is very much Telltale games, actually, the characters don't always look that great. All in all, I think it's going to please people who like the Sherlock Holmes games, but you have to realize that it's very much taking inspiration from those, but it's not executed quite as well as those tend to be. And that's what I think of this week's game. Have you played it? Do you like these types of games? Will you be playing it in future? Let me know down in the comments any of your thoughts. If you enjoyed this and you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I do one of these every Monday that I'm able to play a new game, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff you can check out on my channel, and I will see you next time.